In the last video, I showed how to make a book down for your litr document. Just to remind you, you can go to _book and then go to index.html, view in web browser, and then that allows you to view your book down. But the problem with this is still just a set of local files, and usually you're going to want to host this on the web for other people to see. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to use GitHub, and for this video I'm going to assume you've seen GitHub before. I use GitHub Desktop, but I'll show you the steps I do to get a litr project on GitHub. So what I do is I go in GitHub Desktop, I go for new repository, and then I give a name. So this package is called from bookdown. So I usually use the package name hyphen project. And the reason I add the project is I just want to distinguish from the name of the R package, which is going to be a folder within this project. Okay, and I actually already have a project named from bookdown. So I'm just going to add a 2 at the end here. And we have this option. I'm going to initialize this repository with a README. And then we can press create repository, and I can click show in Finder, and this is the new folder I just created called from bookdown -project 2, and it has a README in it. Okay, great. So let's publish this repository so we can have a look at it. When we do that, so this is basically putting it on github.com. We have the choice of whether to keep this code private. I'm going to make it public, because our whole point here is we want to share the book down with anybody. So let's publish the repository. And now we can view on GitHub just to see what we've done. At this point, we just have a blank project, basically. And but we're all set now to add some content. So we have here the files we created from litr in the last video. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this into our new location. And initially I'm just going to go here and see what we have. So I'm going to just give this a add files. And I'm going to commit this. And we can push origin. And now we can look on GitHub what has been posted there. Okay, so at this point, this is pretty standard. If you've done things on GitHub, you've probably done this a lot of times or something equivalent to it. But the problem is, if I go to _book and then I click on index.html, it's not going to let me. It's not showing a rendered version of the HTML. In fact, rather it's showing the HTML code. Okay, so you might be familiar, there's a thing called HTML preview that lets us sort of view it, but for a book down, it doesn't do a great job of that. So I'm going to show you a nicer way to handle this instead. And to do that, we're going to go to settings within our project, and then we'll choose pages. We're going to deploy from a branch, which is the default I have here, and I'm going to be deploying from the main branch. And now we have two options. Basically, this is asking where should it look for that index.html file. So by default, it's just looking for something in the root directory. But I kind of like it to be, there's another option called docs. Okay, so that means so I'm going to press save. That means that if we have a folder called docs and we put index.html and all the other things in our book down in there, then it will be nicely viewed on GitHub. Okay, so there's one thing we need to do, which is we need to change the name of _book to be called docs instead. Now, you can definitely streamline this process. In fact, you can change the rendering of your book down so that it's directly going to a docs folder. I'm not going to dwell on this in this video because it's a bit of a detail, but definitely you can streamline this process. But let's just keep it simple and now go back, and here basically this commit will just be the fact that we're moving _book to docs. Okay, push origin, let's view on GitHub. Okay, so docs is this folder that has this sort of special property that GitHub is looking in it to see if there is content that should be rendered nicely, HTML files. And the way you can see that it's actually doing something now is notice that there's this little pending sign. And so we can wait a little bit. It's doing some stuff, getting ready to host our website for us. We can press refresh to check in, and now we have that checkbox. But in addition to the checkbox, notice now we have deployments. So our website is actually deployed. To get to it, you can click on deployments, and then this is the actual link that takes us now to our book down, which notice now this is not local, but this is hosted by GitHub.html. So if I take this main URL, I'm going to copy it. And now what I want to do is, people might come to our, let me refresh this, come to our GitHub page. So I want to, in the README, direct people to the place they should go so they can easily find our book down nicely rendered. And I'm just going to say, please see here. And I'm giving them the URL for our book down to see the book down with a literate programming implementation I'll give it the r-package, which is called from book down. Okay, press save. And now if I go back to GitHub desktop, I can add link to book down. That's our commit. Push origin. Okay, now I can view on GitHub. And now there's that link. When I click on it, somebody will go to the right place. Okay? Okay, so we've succeeded in getting our book down on the web so we can share it with other people.